Hello, this is Eva. You're watching my video about silk, a material that has always been prized as a fabric for the royal and the wealthy. Silk has a long history. Around 2640 BC, Princess Xilin, the chief concubine of the Chinese Emperor Huangdi, found that the thread of silk could be unwound from an insect cocoon that had fallen into her teeth. Though this story might be a myth, it is true that the production of silk started in China with the cultivation of the silkworm. Beautifully woven, lavishly embroidered, and wonderfully dyed, silk fabric was greatly prized. It was a highly valued commodity of trade and barter, and even a form of currency. Rewards and taxes were sometimes paid in silk as well. By the 1st century BC, through the Silk Road, regular shipments of silk were arriving in the West. Though the Chinese strive hard to keep the details of silk production a secret, 2 monks managed to return from China to Constantinople with hollowed-out canes that concealed silkworm eggs and mulberry seeds. Then sericulture flourished in Italy, especially in Venice, Lucca, and Florence. Silk production also spread to other places. In 1466, Louis XI granted tax exemptions for silk weavers in Lyons, decreed plenty of mulberry trees in order to manufacture silk for the royal court. On the North American front, various attempts to cultivate silk were not commercially successful, but the spinning and weaving of silk processes were developed. Silk is a protein, and proteins are made from 22 different alpha amino acids, whose chemical structure has an amino group and an organic acid group. The R group, sometimes called the Si group, where R is H, the name of the amino acids glycine. CH3 and CH2OH give the amino acids alanine and serine, respectively. Silk is a polymer. Generally, the 2 amino acids combine by eliminating water between themselves. The resulting link between the 2 amino acids is known as an amide group. The 2 ends of the new molecule can in turn form new links. It is estimated that 80 to 85% of the amino acids of silk is a repeating sequence of glycine, serine, glycine, alanine, glycine, alanine. A chain of the silk protein polymer has a zigzag arrangement with the Si group alternating on each side. These chains of protein molecule lie parallel with adjacent chains running in opposite directions. They are held to one another through cross-attraction between the molecule strands, which produces a pleated sheet structure. Many of the physical properties of silk are due to its protein structure. Silk is resistant to stretching because of the flexible pleated sheet structure. The small R groups on the surface are relatively similar in size, creating a uniform surface responsible for the smooth feel. What's more, this uniform surface also acts as a good reflector of light, accounting for silk's luster. Silk is famous for its sparkle, which is attributed to the fact that not all silk molecules are part of a regular pleated sheet structure. These regularities break up reflected light, recreating flashes of brightness. Silk is also easy to color, because among the remaining 15 to 20% of amino acids are some whose side groups can easily chemically bond with dye molecules. The natural production of silk starts with the silkworm moth, who lays around 500 eggs. One gram of these tiny eggs produces more than 1,000 silkworms. Then the worms are kept in clean, well-ventilated trays. After a month, they're moved to spinning trays to start spinning their cocoons. To obtain the silk, the cocoons are boiled. Silk thread is then wound onto wheels. Many attempts were made to produce a synthetic silk. In the late 1870s, a French count, Hilaire de Chardonnay, tried forcing clothing solution through a set of tiny holes and thus produced Chardonnay silk. But the flammability of the material brought its downfall. However, he did not give up, and by 1895 was using a denitrating agent that produced a much safer fabric. Another method was developed by Charles Cross and Edward Bevan. They found that when viscose liquid was forced through a spinneret into an acid bath, cellulose was generated in the form of a fine filament called viscose silk or rayon. But rayon has many drawbacks, a prominent one being its ability to absorb water, which causes it to sag. Therefore, rayon cannot be used for stockings. Since a different type of artificial silk was needed, DuPont asked organic chemist Wallace Carothers to perform independent research. For 4 years, Carothers and his co-workers prepared different types of polymers and studied their properties, before they finally produced nylon, the man-made fiber that comes the closest to having the properties of silk. Like silk, nylon is a polyamide, but unlike silk, nylon is made from 2 different monomer units alternating in the chain. Adipic acid has acid group COOH at both ends, while the other molecular unit, 1,6-diaminohexane, has amino groups attached at the ends. The amide link in nylon is also formed by eliminating a molecule of water. The first commercial use of nylon was for toothbrush bristles. Then nylon stockings were marketed for the first time. Nylon is also used for fishing lesson nets and strings for tennis and badminton rackets. During World War II, ropes and other military items dominated the use of nylon. Nowadays, we can also see that nylon is in clothing, carpets, and the first engineering plastic that can replace metal. That's all in this video. Thanks for watching.
created using Powtoon.